Wednesday, everybody. I hope you're doing wonderful today. We have a great guest on here. We're going to get to him in a moment. We're going to cover the street style event put on by Onewheel this past weekend in San Francisco, California. It looks amazing. The shots are that are just been coming out from PictureWise, and a few videos have been leaked. I wish I was there. It was one for the record books, in my opinion, but we're going to get Bodhi's opinion on the event as he has been the spearhead of this event. But I am joined with a great cast of characters here. They are characters. They think they're the funniest people on this planet. Number one contender for being the funniest woman in the planet is my wife of 24 years. Holly, how you doing?
You know it.
Yep, she's smiling. Give us your best,
Ooh.
most hilarious moment in 30 seconds. Go.
Most hilarious moment when I fell at college in front of everybody.
While chewing gum.
Well, no, I had my hands in my backpack and my backpack was too full, and I fell on my back.
Just
and
like a cartoon character.
Straight up like a turtle.
Like a turtle. All right. Lily Arnold over here, who's popping. She's popping because she's pregnant.
She's pregnant.
That bump of yours keeps getting into stuff.
Hi.
You can't even respond to it. Why are you not even responding?
I don't know what to say.
What do you mean? You're like, yeah, it's full on baby mode around here or something like that?
It's full on baby mode around here and puppy mode.
Puppy mode. The other day, she got up from said desk over here and she knocked everything off my desk because
It's
she
just a
forgot
tight
that she had a
squeeze
belly.
right here.
It's a tight squeeze. I got it. I've never had to do that, so I'm not giving you too much grief. But nonetheless, Lily, you have 30 seconds to give us your most funniest moment.
No.
What?
I broke my teeth going down a slide.
Oh, her front two
As
teeth.
an adult.
That was
Yeah.
so funny.
To impress a guy she never married. It was a good one. Like, I literally thought it was an
It's
app.
not true.
I literally thought it was an app where she said her front teeth are missing, and then it wasn't an app. It was real life. So
That was funny.
Now
Yeah.
I have straighter teeth out of it.
yeah. Well, we should, if we knew you were going to say that, we could have had the picture up there. Nonetheless, we don't. We don't. Okay. That said, we're excited about all the things that are happening today. Here is just a quick video, just like a couple shots of street style, but from Onewheel before we introduce Bodhi here. Look at this. This is a wet your whistle of what transpired out there in San Francisco. Look at that. I don't even know how you do that. The caption there is, we're going to let this, hit it again. Like both of these guys, Bodhi and Floaty McFly. They're just nailing it. How do you twist your board and just rail slide that?
That's
what?
so cool.
And then this. Okay, rail slide and then a drop that just anyone that knows physics, you should be launched off your board, front side, toe side, I should say. And he nails it, stomps that. Okay. It was invitation only to this event, so it was cool to see some of the best of the
It'd be
best
legit to get invited.
do this.
Yeah.
And so, in the green room, we're about to introduce him, a really good friend of mine for years. A man that shares the same passion, sunglasses I do. He loves them. He has long hair. He is a paddleboarder. This guy takes a Onewheel and makes it do things that you never knew was possible on a board. When somebody says, can you kickflip that? He can kickflip it. When somebody says, can you drop that? He can drop that. This guy has no fear in his body whatsoever. This is Bodhi Harrison, everybody. Bodhi, how we doing today?
Yeah, Bodhi.
Bodhi supporting the police classes.
Hello.
Coming
There
in,
he is.
coming in
my.
stoic.
Wait,
Very stoic.
you
Hello,
tried
good
on
day
so
to you.
many. How did
Good to
you
see
land
you.
on
No, I
those?
didn't.
No, I didn't.
Oh my gosh.
All day, every day, I'm in the police academy.
Yeah, military edition. Yes.
Something.
Yes. Yeah. I like how you can tilt forward so we can see your real eyes. It's great. That's wonderful. Thank you, Bodhi, for that
Wow.
shot.
That means you got the shades on right.
Yeah, that's. Before we got here, Bodhi was running through all the glasses because he didn't
was.
like that it was showing the reflection of his computer screen.
Those
so
worked. Those worked.
It worked.
There's Bodhi.
Bodhi smiling.
There he is.
Oh, gotta get the hood.
Gotta
on.
get the hood
Hello.
up. Yeah, that's a vibe.
I'm a
Now,
hoodie boy, dude. I'm a Colorado boy.
I love hoodies. We've talked about that on this podcast with you. Number one essential piece of clothing that I take in any trip, I don't care the climate, is a hoodie.
Yep.
Now, you do something that I do not do. The little strings, I don't like the strings. I take them out of most of my hoodies.
That's why he ties them.
Because I usually the way to get a hoodie to really sit on your head right is lightly tensioning it.
Lightning. Oh, that's a hack. Somebody just
Hoodie 101.
yeah, epic
And
in our
when
house.
you get your bow just right, you get a little bit extra steez.
Yeah.
You look
There
like
you go.
Yeah, yeah. You're winning, man. Epic in our house is a hoodie guy. He's always got a hoodie on. But he does it a little too far, so he looks like a hoodlum because it's coming over his eyes. It's like, bro, just you're creeping people out. Just tilt it back a little bit.
Dude, you gotta wear a hat so you get the little dot. You hook the hood on the
Wow,
dot.
it's a whole
See?
system.
Gives you that middle positioning, and then you do a light tie down here. And you can
Yeah.
even, if you don't want a bow tie, you just do a loose knot, and it'll
at that.
hold it on your head a little better.
And
Wow.
here's the deal, Bodhi. I know that you've taken it up a level, but seriously, you know who did this first? E.T. E.T.
E.T. wasn't wearing a hat though.
No, but he couldn't. Have you ever seen the melon
I
on
used
that
to be
dude?
so
They
Yeah,
didn't make
there
a
you go.
hat.
There
Yeah.
you go.
I used to be
E.T.
so
was-
scared of that movie.
You did?
Oh, terrified. Could not watch it.
What?
Yeah.
E.T.'s creepy.
It's creepy, and when you're a little girl and it's like,
What? There was a whole little girl in there you could identify with.
I thought she was crazy.
Well, turns out there might be some truth to that. Nonetheless, E.T. Phone home, baby. All right, hey, let's go. Let's just start with it in case everybody didn't know that the competition, a first of its kind. There have been versions of it in the history of Onewheel, but this is the first level up the game. The crowds were cool to see in any of the pictures, like just people surrounding the barricades of this event. The fun box that was in the middle was phenomenal to see all the footage coming out of it. If people have missed it, Bodhi, we got to congrat you first on the dub this weekend.
Amazing.
Which is the last, yeah, look at this. The dude, money. You're getting the check. You're getting the, oh, come on. Look at
Well
that.
done.
Well, folks, that's incredible. 8 riders from around the globe competed for $1K in the ultimate bragging rights at Bodhi Harrison. Took home gold and a bunch of swag from our sponsors. Shout out to the competitors for laying it down and showing the fine people of San Francisco just what Onewheel Freestyle is all about. All right.
Well done.
Give
Well
us the lowdown, Bodhi. What was it like, man? Take a creation, a dream, and make it reality.
It was super cool. And honestly, somebody asked me what my highlight was, and even above winning it, because I've obviously, winning competitions feels pretty cool, but I've won competitions before. Like, the true highlight was when we finished putting the park together. Like, before we stuck all the logo stickers on and everything, like seeing that park fully built and alive was really, really cool. That was definitely amazing, because that started out as a sketch. That started out as something in my head, and then a sketch on my iPad, and then Austin Silva fully 3D designed it, made a full build list, like
Wow.
every part, every angle, every cut, every length, everything was labeled. And seeing it come to life was really cool. And I think one of the coolest parts too is that's an idea for a style event I've wanted to do for a long time.
Yeah.
But it actually did not start with me being like, hey, we should do this. Like, I've thrown it out there here and there, but it was actually Kyle D, the boss man. He was like, we need to do a freestyle event. And I was like, okay, I have one already in my head.
Yeah.
I know exactly.
That's awesome. Jack
And
told
he
us
was
that
like,
last
all right,
week.
cool.
Yeah, Jack was
Yeah.
saying that Kyle was the spearhead of this thing, which is pretty cool.
Right? It's super
yeah.
cool. It wasn't me like, come on, guys, please, please, please. It was
Yeah,
like
let me
Kyle was
do
like,
this.
let's do this. I was like, all right, cool. I got the idea. And, the park was my idea. The style of everything was my idea, but I did not do this alone in the slightest bit. Like, it was team effort all the way. Our events coordinator, Sarah, did a lot of the groundwork of, we actually did a demo at this venue. Like, I think it was kind of a while ago. I think it was like 6 years ago or something, 5 years
Okay.
ago. And so we figured that'd be perfect, because we wanted it to be in the city. Because I think one thing with a lot of these Onewheel events is they're at venues kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and you'll get a couple stragglers that are like camping there somehow. But we wanted it to have the vibe of being in the city and also have the foot traffic. Because like you said, maybe half the spectators there came knowing about the event, local riders. Some people traveled in, like K-Love came all the way across the country to come check it out. And the other half were people that just either demoed the day before and came back, or people that were walking by. So like, to have the foot traffic is really cool. But anyway, Sarah did a lot with it. Jack did a lot with it. Joey helped a lot with it. Our design team crushed it, getting all the logos and the merchandise. I did a lot of the promotion beforehand, and it's really awesome to be able to work with a team on something like this and have everybody work together so well. And I just feel super blessed that, I can have an idea and everybody can help me bring it to life. And it went as smoothly as it did, like everybody had a good time. It was actually pretty big for all of us, even for me. And the funny thing, because we're trying to strike the balance of making it big enough to have amplitude and be impressive, not just be like a 2-foot platform and everyone's like, dude, oh yeah, that's cool. But also, if it's too big, we don't want to try anything that crazy.
Correct.
And if it's too big, we're going to hurt ourselves. Boards could break. And so originally, the whole thing was going to be a foot taller.
Oof.
Wow.
And it was already sitting at like 3 feet, 3.5 feet. What's the drop?
Yeah, it was like just over 3 feet.
Yeah.
Which it does not look or feel like 3 feet. When you think 3 feet, you're like, oh, that's pretty short. And then you jump off of that thing and you're like, oh.
Whoa.
Yeah, but you're not. I think you're underplaying it, Bodhi. So let me interject here. When you say dropping off, that you're not just dropping off of it. You guys are doing tricks in the drop off. So it's one thing to right.
And getting more air.
You
than
guys
the-
are
volleying off. When you volley off, you're getting an extra like 6
Yeah,
inches
look
to
at
a
this
foot.
shot. I don't know who this is. I can just see it there. Look, this is. Look at that. Oh, that's you. But I could only see it from. Look, you're above 3 feet off the box, and you're
Well,
gonna hit.
that's off the 2-step. So the 2-step.
Oh, I see the step coming down.
That is probably like 4.5 feet, and then that volley was gigantic. So that's probably 5-ish, maybe
Dang.
plus a little bit feet of air on
My
that one.
gosh.
That was an ankle slapper. that
Yeah.
one.
So hey, speaking of that shot, when I took a picture of you doing the same thing, look at I captured the hot air balloons in the background, Bodhi. Look at that. That's impressive. And then did you see the dove that was flying by you when you were doing the rail side as well? I just was sitting at a certain angle snapping.
Yeah, I didn't see the dove, but I felt the dove. Jesus was with me on that one.
Yeah. But the pink air, but that had to be your idea to have pink hot air balloons tied down, capturing some of the footage. That's great play.
Yeah, that's how we got our aerial shots.
Yeah, great call.
No, so the funny thing is, to wrap up the size of the feature is, I ballparked the size to Austin. Austin threw the whole thing together, and at that point, it's just like a picture and numbers. And then we hired 2 carpenters to help us build it, and then Philip, my Czech brother, Bartos Philo on Instagram, his Instagram is deactivated right now.
He's in the chat.
But
Philip B,
big
he's in
shout
the
out to
chat.
Philip. Oh, Philip's in the chat. What up?
Yeah, he's
my
watching.
butt? Philip's dope, and we had him help build, and he's actually a very proficient builder man and handyman. And we're following Austin's build plans. We're cutting all the pieces for the platforms. We're getting everything put together, and the carpenters start building the 2-stair. And that picture you showed of me jumping off the 2-stair, that 2-stair is actually on its side. Originally, it was supposed to be tallway.
Oh.
Wow.
It's on the loading platform and it's being built, and Philip and I are kind of just like standing there looking at it, and that the top side was eye level.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
Too tall.
dude, this might be kind of big. And I was like, I think you're right. He's like, come here. And he walks me down to the loading dock behind Future Motion, which is a pretty big drop. Like, you feel it every time you do it. Shocks up your leg. And he pulls out the measuring tape. He's like, the platform is going to be exactly this tall. And we kind of had a moment of like, oh, crap. We're like, okay, well, what do we need to do to make this shorter? And he's like, well, did the math, and we could flip the 2-stair on its side, and it will be just the right height if we just cut everything a foot. And we can just shorten the cross beams, because all the platforms had cross beams connecting everything to make it more stable. And so we called the audible. We chopped everything down. We had to shorten the rail up a tiny bit so that it didn't go all the way to the ground. So we made it work. And honestly, if I could go back in time, I would probably make it even a tiny bit shorter, because I think for a couple of people it really intimidated them. But at the end of the day, I think what we were trying to do, we accomplished, which was to show people what we're doing with this. Because a lot of the riding that's been done at this level is like dirt, the original dirt, some of the stuff in 113, some of the original Float Life videos. And so to be able to do this large of riding in a competition platform in a way where people were able to come see it in person, and hopefully this video we put on YouTube can gain some traction and get some viewership from some people that aren't familiar with this level of riding, is really cool.
When's this video supposed to hit? When's the video
tomorrow.
going to hit? Tomorrow. Okay, looking forward to that. I
don't know if you've seen it yet, but I made the like short form vertical hype recap yesterday. That's out as of this morning.
Oh, I have not seen that. I would have put it on here if I would have seen that. What a fail. Fail. On YouTube Shorts, you're saying?
It might be on Shorts, but it's definitely on Instagram.
Oh, I haven't been on there since lunch.
Yeah.
Well,
that was a behemoth, because we had, the drone and 3 cameras rolling for pretty much the whole thing. So it's a lot of, as you know, with editing, a lot of sorting.
Yes.
But yeah, so I think ultimately it was a success. I think all the riders had a good time. Nobody got seriously injured. Cricket and I definitely took a couple heavy slams. Kyle took a couple schlappers. People were stoked. It went smooth. There was no drama.
Yeah.
Between riders, no drama with like homeless people coming and doing some weird stuff. The demos went really well. We did a fair amount of demos because the idea with the demos was to get people on one wheels. That's a big thing that we need to do, and to help people fall in love with it. And B, to get them there trying it and try to get them to come back to watch the competition.
Yep.
And C, it was really expensive to do this event, to rent the venue, for the insurance, for the travel for the employees. We put up all the riders for 2 nights. We bought $5,000 of wood. So like all in, this was a really expensive project, which I'm super thankful that Onewheel was down to throw that much of our annual budget into it. But I think that's why we did the demos, because, doubling down, get some good content out of it. And as far as the park goes, like the big reason I designed it the way I did is so that it can be rearranged and added to or shifted for like the freestyle at Race for the Rail, or something I've been wanting to do is at some of our demos that have enough space, like set up kind of a exposition area where every couple hours, whoever's there that can ride pretty heavy can jump out there and like demonstrate what we can do on the one wheels. Because at the demos we have like an outdoor TV where we'll play like a sizzle reel, because if you haven't been exposed to our extreme level content, what most people see of one wheeling is just people like riding around, walking their dog, riding down the street, or at demos with just people like learning how to do it. Some of them kind of shaky, some of them getting the hang of it and riding around. So I think it's important to show people like the breadth of one wheeling and what's possible from just average riding all the way up to racing and throwing ourselves at rails. So that park is definitely recyclable, and we'll be able to use that for a long time, especially the ramp Austin built. I think is quality. And I think he wants as an airbag ramp at Race of the Rail.
Yeah, should be.
Nice.
Hey, let me ask some things just as a fan watching from afar that you can answer some of the questions that people are asking. Why the wood on the ground when you're already landing on asphalt? Is there an added advantage for you as a one-wheeler hitting that? Does it absorb some of that? Because I did see that or is it just a cosmetic thing? What was the Legend, if we can put some of those other pictures up there, we'll thumb through. What was the purpose of that, Bodhi?
Board impact.
Okay, so it helps absorb that.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
And with our bodies too, like, it's a lot of it's kind of bowed up. So when you land on it with your feet and with your body, it feels a little better than asphalt. It doesn't chew you up like the asphalt does. And it definitely absorbs a lot of the impact from the boards, because when we're going that high and like kicking our boards out, if we didn't pop it right, or coming off of the rail, the board's smacking the asphalt really hard, it definitely absorbs some of the impact of it.
Okay.
It looks good.
It does look good as well.
It also makes the landings louder.
Which is cooler.
So when we land stuff, it's like
boom.
Yeah, gets attention.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think when you thumb through those pictures one more time, because there's so much to be looking at these things. You have the trick being thrown down. The venue is just, you guys did such a good job. Like there, you just one wheel, tents, flags, the banner around the fun box in the middle. Looks so just. It looks like a Red Bull event, and then you got people all over the place. It really, look at that shot where you got all the people in the background. You have the judges table, I'm assuming, right underneath the tent there. And so
Yep.
I think, just all around looks so cool. And that's such an underplay of what it really is. But, okay, so tell me this. Was everybody riding the same board?
That was a question from the chat.
Everybody riding the same board? Or did Onewheel provide the boards? What was the rundown with the boards?
Yeah, so everybody was on XR Classics except Cricket jumped on a Pine S because he's a Pine S wizard.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and so we wanted to make sure everybody had an opportunity to practice on the board beforehand. So people that were not riding our models, we sent them like weeks beforehand to ride.
Oh, cool.
Just so everyone's on level playing field. Everyone opted for the straight rails. A lot of us are straight rail riders because for me, like, I don't mind the recurves on a rally or even like back in the day riding dubs on a trail board. Like riding trails, I don't mind bent rails because you get that bit of lock. But when it comes to freestyle, like I like my board to be flat because it's more consistent and it's easier to jump off the board and back onto it for like hippie jumps, ghost rides, shoves, different tricks where like you're separating from the board. That leverage you get for aggressive trail riding can actually be a disadvantage when you're jumping off the board because that's like the hardest part is jumping with your feet flat or putting your feet in the right spot on the foot pads to where if you are taking off from your toes a little bit, the board is staying flat.
Yeah.
And also if you think about it, like my skateboard's flat.
Yep.
My snowboard's flat. My surfboard's flat. My wakeboard is kind of flat. Oh, the majority of all my boards are flat. And so that's what I prefer. And I also have kind of funky knees, unfortunately. And so when I ride for a long time with an angle to my rear rail, it makes my knees sore.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've rode all those different setups and I prefer the straight. I do think when it comes to, for anyone that's hearing this, like, so for trail riding, the point is to lift your tail up just a little bit so you drag less going downhill. Some of that with the firmware updates, I do think you can almost make your settings where you're dragging less, so you less depend on a rail. Is some of my thoughts on it where we are today and some of those things. Okay, so
the downhill gradient tracking is so crazy.
Yeah, that's what
It's so cool.
Yeah, so you don't need the rails
First
anymore.
time I tried it, tripped me out.
It did. Like any of those, when the latest firmware update from Future Motion came out and you hop on your board, it is a totally different ride all of a sudden. You're like, wait, what is happening on this switchback? And then you got to tweak it, learn it, and then you realize, oh, yeah, this is everything I like that. But it was, in your words, Bodhi, trippy when you first got on it.
Because when I first tried it, I like had it turned on kind of light, and I went down this really steep hill, and I didn't really feel it. I was like, "Is that doing anything?" And I like go back to the top of the hill, and I turn it way up, and then I go down this hill, and my board's like tail all the way up. I'm like level with the hill, like so much brakes. It was so wild. It's like, damn. And
so
it kind of helps with landing downhill.
Yeah.
So I usually don't do gradient tracking uphill because I do a lot of jumping. And I've been riding Onewheels for 10 years, a lot less strong than the ones we have now. Because sometimes you can set your gradient tracking slow enough where like a small jump won't do it. But sometimes when you're going off a jump, it'll trigger the gradient tracking because it thinks you're climbing a hill.
Oh,
and like right at the end, the board starts thinking, okay, I'm going to tilt up. So then you go off the jump and you're kind of a little nose heavy. You have to like really fight it down. So that's like, if you're riding and plan on doing jumps, it's pretty important to have your gradient tracking set to a slow engagement rate.
That is a great hack for anyone, any of the Groms that are watching going, well, what are the settings in there? Any other settings that you can think of for the Groms that would be like, I want to perfect this. If there's another freestyle event, I want to be able to come on a Friday, try out, and be on the main show. Like, what are some of those other hacks? Not all of them, Bodhi, but some of those other hacks for Groms out there for the settings.
Well, my trail and freestyle settings are totally different. When I'm riding trail, I will turn my aggression globally up, so I won't use the advanced settings. If you're going to race Groms, it's actually good to use the advanced settings, turn your low end torque all the way up, so you have maximum takeoff speed for the starts and for coming out of turns. And then you actually want like your high end torque to be a little like medium to medium high, so that your board's not too punchy when you're at max speeds. And then now with the built-in turn compensation, you don't need to turn your roll up as much. Before that, I would turn my roll way up so that when you're cornering, your board's staying up higher. Braking aggression, definitely want to go up a little bit, but not too much, because you don't want to hit the brakes and be like chatting and sliding.
Yeah.
Definitely now that we have the downhill, like a medium to high downhill gradient tracking is super helpful. That way when you're coming at speed and need to brake on a downhill, you have more brakes. And then now there's the new like smart back, where like if you're flying and you need to brake, it feels that and will give you more brakes. But honestly, I think the most important thing is just experimenting. Like what feels good to me might not feel good to you. A lot of times, like Austin has like crazy settings, and you'll get on Austin's board and you're like, what is this? But it feels good to him, and he dominates with that because that's what he's dialed into. And then Neil has his settings. Tyler has his settings. Rachel Cecil won Race to the Rail in base flow.
Right. Well, there you go.
Base flow, dude. It's really all about experimenting and seeing what feels best to you. Like, go ride like you're racing. Obviously, big tip, if you're not racing, never go on 100%. You always want to train at about 80 to 90 because you don't want to get hurt before you get to the start line.
There you go.
But
there's a hack for you.
Go ride like you're racing, right? Take your corners tight, brake hard, get into the race mentality, and just play with things. Play with your dynamic responsiveness a little bit. Like, do one thing at a time. You never want to change multiple settings.
Yeah, because then you don't know what you changed, right?
If it's too much, then it's going to be completely different, and then you get kind of lost. So you kind of want to work your way down, and then you can kind of work your way back through, but just experiment, because really what you want with racing is the ability to accelerate fast, turn hard, and slow down quickly.
Right.
Freestyle, on the other hand, I will tune my aggression and my braking down. But the way I tune my aggression down isn't advanced. I have my low end up, and then all the other dots a little bit below middle, because when you're tricking, sometimes you need that quick like boost of speed to get to another spot, or you land something in a line and you need to get to another place. So I'll have high, low end torque, everything else medium, and my braking aggression sometimes all the way to -5, usually at least -3, because when you're doing slides, you're scooping onto the whatever you're sliding, and you have to basically get your tail almost all the way to the ground to get your nose up onto it. So if your brakes are too tight, you lose a lot of your momentum getting the tail down. And
so wait, so when we play this video, Bodhi, what you're saying, I got to cut you off. You like to talk a lot, so I have to interrupt you so we break up your...
Can I just say before you carry on, it's really awesome to see you competing again.
It is. I'm here. We're here. We are fans. I mean,
I want to see you at Race for the Rail.
You're on our first jersey. Your face is on there.
He said no.
Okay.
I'm retired from racing for the time being.
Legend, put on the video clip. Bodhi, so what you just explained about slamming on the brakes, in a sense, that's hit that again, because that's the spot I want to see. Floyd does a great job. But what you're saying is You need the brakes down because you
see
got to
that?
get the.
You see my
Yeah.
tail?
Yeah.
Right
It goes yoink right before.
So fast. I was just sitting there with our grounds in the house going, how does he do
Yeah,
that?
you do.
Right before
And
you
just
get onto that rail.
Yeah,
right?
like
And that
split
rail was
second.
hard too to like slide on because if you watch my upper body, so when I get on it, back then forward. You have to lean back because it's uphill and then downhill. So you go, You see me push my body forward when I go over the hump?
Yeah.
That thing was pretty technical.
It was.
was
I
fun.
mean, did you get the sense that those who were watching were in awe of what was happening, or they're like, "Oh, I see skateboarders do this"? Because I would fear that people think, "Oh, I see skateboarders do it." It is more difficult with the one wheel, in a sense. On some of these tricks, and others are easy because you're not having to manually pump your feet, you know. But were people in awe when you guys are landing these tricks?
There was a lot of cheering.
And rightfully so. I mean,
Yeah, there was a lot of cheering.
you know what's I noticed again? I haven't seen an aerial shot. I don't know if there's any of those. I don't know if the people in the hot air balloons were taking pictures or whatnot. But I wondered because you're on your one wheel, you don't have to have as much real estate for an event like this as you would for a skateboard because you need a lot of space to get speed to get to the fun box. So is that true?
That was part of the idea with doing the rail jam style is less surface area.
Yeah.
Because with one feature, you don't need like a whole park. You don't need to like expand. It's not a race course. It's not a whole freestyle park. We probably could have built like a pretty simple small park in that area, but it would have been hard to generate speed because let me see if I can pull this up for you.
If you
See
have
if this works.
well, you could text the picture to us and we can put it on the screen if that's easier for you.
Have you ever had a
He's
guest share
multitasking.
their screen?
Share their screen. I don't think. Oh, yeah.
We
You
have
see my
had.
screen
Oh,
really
we can
often?
see your screen. Yes. Before we put that live, you're sure everything's cool to put out on the internet? That's the question we
Yep.
like to. Okay.
We're ready. Put me up.
Okay. Can you put that up on the screen, Epic? We've never tried. Can you do it, Ep? Yeah. He thinks. Just hit left or right on it, I believe. Oh no.
With the new technology.
Yeah. We're trying to figure it out
Who
ourselves.
finds it? If it doesn't work, it's no big deal. But
Got
I
it.
got it up on my screen, so you
There we
should
go.
be able to. If you
That's a
figure
great
it.
shot.
Yeah,
That's
sweet.
way
Is
it up?
littler
Yeah.
than
So that's
I
from the
thought.
hot air balloon? Just kidding.
Yeah, that's a hot air
This
balloon
is from
for
the hot
sure.
air balloon. But do you see how there's a break in the fence right where I am?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
So we
yes.
were coming in from that street right there is an emergency only street. So there's like those rubber cones blocking it.
Gotcha.
So it's really pedestrian only. And we were coming in right about around the far yellows
Okay.
from the park. And then the jump Austin built was going to be flush, but then we brought everything down and he kept the specs of the jump because we want to reuse it for a ginormous launch ramp. So
Yeah.
the ramp went up and dropped onto the platform, which actually was pretty tricky because it's such a steep ramp. And then with the drop, like you had to really force your nose down to not tail drag because the board's going like 45 degrees into the air and at speed. So it made it a little bit tricky. So we had the launch ramp on that some people would opt for, and then we just had the wedge on the left side. So if you wanted to like carry more speed, really stay in control of your board, you'd come on the wedge. But you could also, if you're on the platform, just start in the corner and get enough speed for most of the stuff that you were trying to do. But
That's great.
that's the aerial, and then there's another one at the end here.
Wait, that's the video
this
you
is the
made. Why don't
video.
you just play it?
Well, no, go to their Instagram. Let them have
I did. I went to it.
Oh, is it sweet?
Yeah,
Do you
it's
guys want
sweet.
to see it?
I wanted
Well-
more.
I wanted more. She said it's coming out tomorrow.
Well, this is the short he posted.
Yeah, but the full version's coming out tomorrow.
Look at Cricket. This is probably the trick of the comp. Cricket did a Bali front side nose slide to fakie on the freaking top side of the two stair, and he stomped it.
Wow.
How does it for real? How's he not in the top 3? How do you not like?
Yeah, how do they do all that? How do they decide?
He was doing what.
All right,
Cricket
you can
boy,
take it.
Oh, we're getting Infinity. Cricket and I talk about this a lot. Like he's a battle rider versus like a competition rider, and we're trying to kind of adopt more of each other's strategy. Like when he goes and rides, he's not just like labbing the basic tricks. He gets a vision for something he wants to do, and he'll do it for 3 hours until he lands it. He's a skateboarder.
Yeah.
As am I. And so that's like his mentality. He wants to go out there. He doesn't want to go out there and just like tittle around. He wants to do something big and something impressive, because that's like not only his style, but he's on the mission that I'm on and some of us are on, to amplify one wheel riding and have skateboarders and snowboarders and BMX riders look at it and be like, oh wow, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
So he landed some really clean bollies. He did a burnout on the stage. We were in the same heat, so I didn't see exactly everything he did, but he was trying some big stuff. And I think that nose slide that he got was in the first round. He made it to finals. He did really solid.
Okay, so you're giving us a little bit more information than we knew. One, here he is on a magazine that he's helping put out, the Get Stoked magazine right here. You guys can.
He's not only helping get put out. He made that thing. He slaved over that magazine.
Awesome.
Everyone, here we go. Go to their website and order this. Get Stoked. It's not just one of those things. Get Stoked magazines. It is here. We'll
it's a
it on the
real
screen.
magazine. Flip through it a little bit. Don't show people too much, but show them. There's articles. There's pictures.
It's so good.
Write-ups on community
it feels
members.
like a real. I mean,
photo spreads. It's a real mag.
It has all the right vibes. When we're talking about skate and stuff, culture. I mean, look at this. Like right here, this is just a great little. Just sit here and geek out on just footage. I mean, when was the last time?
I think that's small. That's Small's photo spread.
Yeah, it's just great to see footage of events that you just don't get to see. I'm here for it. Again, let's put it up on the screen really quick so everyone can go. We want to make sure people are subscribing to this. Bodhi, you're in here in a bunch of pictures. But we have it where you can go to their website. Epic, can you put it on the screen? Yeah. There we go. Get Stoked Magazine. That's their welcoming page. When you get on the website, you have 3 options. You can buy it, 1 issue. You don't buy 1 issue, buy a couple, help this get going. Really just go to all the way over annual subscription, do the $70 for the year, so you can just tell them, hey, I'm with you. Here's how I view this. You know how like people do Kickstarter funds? We're trying to kickstart a magazine for the culture and for the vibe, and so help them, right? Help these boys get this thing cranking, and the women that are helping write it.
Well done.
You know what's cool too? Do you guys want to know what's really cool?
I'm here for it.
The ad spaces pay for the print. All the subscriptions go to paying the artists in the magazine.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, nice.
So that's why it's a really cool thing to support the mag. Like they're not trying to cash grab with this. They're trying to put a spotlight on our beautiful community, and the majority of the profits from the subscriptions go to myself, to Smalls, to the people that wrote the articles, to the people that shot the photos, to some of the athletes that are in there. So go buy a magazine so I can finally get paid.
Yeah. Here's a shot of this. I want to make mention to this. Here's just a spread of you at Lemonade Float Fest just a month or 2 ago. Like that's what's so cool.
I landed that front blunt. I landed that. That's not a picture of a not landed trick. I landed that.
Yes.
It looks sweet. We were there.
We didn't even question.
Yeah, we were there for this event. But what I like about this, Bodhi, is, man, if you miss like stories, people post stuff from the stories of these kind of weekends all the time, and then they're gone. They're not. Right? Have a magazine that you know, hey, next month issue is going to cover dirt surfers, and you get to see the rundown and the pictures and the stories from dirt surfers is pretty rad, in my opinion, to have that stuff cataloged. I'm here for it. We're really trying to push people subscribing and helping the culture in this. So help that crew out. Like we're the write-up that what is it? The title of it, Race for the Rail. It's not. It's how the rail was won.
Oh yeah, Shane's article.
Shane's article is a great read in there. Anyways, but again, as you were just talking about cricket, we had him on here a couple weeks ago. That guy, you nailed it. He wants to land the mega trick, and he does. He figures, and you're just like, whoa. And so it's cool to hear that he was doing that in the competition. Okay, so there were heats. How many heats? How many people in a heat? I didn't know that's how it was being done.
To get back in to this, do you guys want to see why my ankle hurts?
Yes.
We had several people ask about your ankle.
Do we have a video
my
footage?
screen back up.
Can you share that, Epic? Yeah. Thank you for testing our Grom skills at technology here today. Okay.
Good job, Epic. Oh no.
Am I up?
Yep, you're up. Sorry, we're rock and rolling.
All right. So I went to do the drop on slide. Didn't get onto it enough.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Now, watch that right ankle. Ready?
Oh.
Crunch.
Yeah, thank you for that slow mo.
That hurted.
Yeah, it hurts just watching.
I crunched it there and yoink.
If you could see Epic right now, Bodhi, he's like so close to the computer screen, just like, what is that? He's one for this stuff. He likes seeing how people get injured.
To see the injury.
Yeah, and all right, I'm coming back.
Are you slow mo? Like not slow. Are you limping while you walk?
I got a limp right now for sure.
Okay, so that's an early injury. Okay, we
not
only
too bad though. It's felt slowly better every day, and that's a good sign. You know, like if it doesn't change, that's usually a bad thing. But we were filming a project that was even gnarlier stuff than this, like a week and a half ago at this point, and I hyperextended my ankle the other way.
Yikes!
So, came off of a rail, me down, board up. Board was about to demolish my shin, but it caught my toe, so it like pulled my foot up towards my leg, and then that one like brought it the other way. And both my ankles, I roll them a fair amount, but I hyperextend them up all the time because you land on the wheel too far on the heel side edge and it rolls. And so sometimes I'll crunch both my ankles. Sometimes mostly it's my back ankle. So that part of my ankle is always kind of like tender. So when I really do it in like that, it kind of lights it up. But that usually, it feels like those heal faster than when I roll it. Because what the worst roll is when you catch your toe. Yep. Like there's the side foot roll, and then there's the toe roll. The toe roll, that one hurts really bad, and it usually pops. But yeah, so it's all good though. I'm a heel. It's part of being a pro athlete. You gotta get hurt. You gotta take care of your body. You gotta rest. You gotta do physical therapy and all that stuff.
Yeah. It is part of the sport. Like, I mean, any sport. Any sport. Basketball, hockey, skate, any extreme, like BMX bike, right? There's injuries are in it and stuff. So, again, a parent of 8, injury is part of like progression and just doing life. We could play it safe and stay on the couch, but that's boring. And so let's get out there and experiment and see what our bodies are capable of. So we subscribe to that, Bodhi.
Well, that's why it's important to stretch, to stay active, whether you're going to the gym or riding a bike or pushing around a skateboard or running. Like if your body's limber and it's strong and you're putting good food into your body and you're drinking water, taking supplements, amino acids, things like that, like you're going to get hurt less and you're going to recover from your injuries faster. So that's an important thing. But to get back to the competition, okay.
We got 5 more minutes. We're under 5 minutes here, Bodhi. We got to be able to let you go because we said we keep you short today. So you got to talk quick. Okay.
There were heats. There were 8 riders, 6 invited riders, myself, and a wild card rider that came all the way out from London. We had, I think, 5 wild card submissions. Where it was a panel of 3 judges that decided who won it. He won based on his technicality, his style, and the diverse amount of tricks he did in his submission. And so there was 8 riders. They were 2-person heats, and it wasn't like head-to-head winner moves on, kind of how racing is.
Oh, okay.
It was really just everybody was against each other in that initial round. And the reason we do heats of 2 is we've been developing a scoring system throughout this season that will be more like official by next season. We're starting the Freestyle Onewheel Collective this year, and we're taking this year as like a learning year to kind of develop our judging systems, develop our park requirements, like make it something that's helpful and easy for events to be a part of, and that's helpful and easy for riders to have some standardization to the riding. And one of the biggest things we got from actually Allie Stanley, who was a judge at this event at
awesome.
Float Fest, was having 4 judges and 4 riders is a little bit tricky, especially when they're marking things. Something happens that they didn't really see. Any level of distraction or miss is a little bit tricky. So basically, there's heats of 2 riders and 4 judges, 2 judges per rider.
Great.
And there was a points system where basically you get a point for a trick on, a point for a trick on top of, a point for a trick off of. So theoretically, if you did a trick onto a feature and then a trick on the feature and then a trick off of the feature, you could get 3 points. You can get a point for doing anything switch, anything 360, or any kind of cross-leg variation. And then added to those points are 3 categories: style, amplitude, and complexity / technicality.
Yeah.
And those are 1 through 20 scales. So when I've judged in the past that all 1 through 10 isn't enough, and people come in really close with each other that didn't feel like their riding was close with each other.
Yep.
So basically there's 3 categories. They decided 1 through 20 how they did in those categories, and then the points for how they utilized the park are added on top of that. And so we did the heats of 2 all the way through the 8, top 4 scores, moved into the 2 final heats, and then we did 2 more heats of 2 for the final heats. And then I won with a score of 65, which was 1 away from my lucky number, dude. My lucky number is 66.
Okay.
If I would have done 1 more trick, I would have freaking won with my lucky number.
What were you thinking?
Yeah, boy, you missed that one, didn't you?
No, but it was fun. And I honestly am pretty surprised because I did that ankle roll, I think, in my first heat or maybe even before it. But the whole final heat, I was hurting for sure. I like iced my ankle the whole break time in between the preliminary heats and the final heat. But it's pretty crazy what adrenaline can do for
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That makes a good story for hopefully somehow that is captured in the tomorrow's video release of
I can't wait to see it.
Bodhi's coming back from an injury.
Yeah.
Bodhi,
I'm always hurt somehow, but that's kind of why I'm not really racing anymore, is because the injuries you can get riding 30 miles an hour hooked to a board is different than just hitting the ground. I've been hitting the ground since I was really, really young. I'm a skateboarder, so I'm pretty good at just getting minor injuries, rehabbing them, keep going. You know, like the collarbone, dude. I still got the bump.
Oh, yeah.
My goodness.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Listen up, kids at home. Don't break your collarbone while it's broken.
No, actually, PSA, if you're wearing a full face helmet, wear a neck brace, neck guard. It keeps your helmet from shattering your bone like mine did. Not all full face helmets can get in there. Some have a high enough chin. Yeah. But some full face helmets will get in between your chin and your collarbone, and they'll break it into a million pieces. So if you're wearing a full face helmet,
that sounds
which is
horrible.
Safe, there's a variety of neck guards. John Ortiz wears them. Some other people wear them. It's super important. If I had one of those on that day, I would have gotten up and kept racing. So
there you have it. Man, Bodhi, we've learned a lot today from settings on your one wheel, how to come in and hit a rail. It's always a pleasure. We are excited
if you want to learn more, subscribe to my Patreon.
Ooh.
How do they get there?
How do they get there? Is it just your name?
Instagram bio. Easy peasy.
There you go. Easy peasy. Hit that up. We're here for the street comp. I could see a day and age where if next year you guys, I would love to do something one wheel related downtown Minneapolis, right up by the Mississippi River with the skyline right behind. There's some really cool venues that are big enough to do something like that. I'd be amped to do.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like all the upper management, all the Future Motion Big Dog
Yeah.
Donnie boys are stoked on how it went and want to continue developing this style of competition and this idea.
Yeah, well, it'd be cool, to be, because you can put this into big cities now, and now it's easy to fly in, have a place to stay, do the comp, and fly out, versus fly in, rent a car, drive 3-4 hours. And that's not knocking those events. It just is a different style, different event. We're here for it. We're here for all of it. We like the community. So, Bodhi, thanks for having a dream and waiting around long enough for someone to come along and say, let's go do that. And so, congrats on the dub.
Yeah, well
you're
done.
Awesome, Bodhi.
Bodhi, are you going to Seek and Tread?
Love you all. I wouldn't miss it.
Seek and Shred.
Next, you
I
can
have
see
to be
Bodhi
dead
there.
to not go to Seek and Tread.
Yeah, that's next weekend, isn't it? Right, next weekend. Which,
Yeah, not this weekend, but the next one.
we have the flyer. They just
It'll
put an
be my first time competing on that park.
Oh, because you've always run right? You've been a
No,
judge.
because I've always been hurt.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, all
I
right
broke
then.
my collarbone the first time, and then I re-broke my collarbone the next time.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Don't re-break a collarbone that's broken. But here's what they put out this week. This is great. It's Shred Fest, Seek and Shred. It is next weekend, July 12th through the 15th. Head-to-head racing, massive start racing, slope style competition, live music, vendors, fun races, the Float Life Games and Tavern, and more. By the way, the theme is medieval, so bringeth thy best chainmail and armor.
gosh.
Come on. One-wheel jousting is going to happen, and I want to see it. That sounds like a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Shout out to my brother. My brother Cash designed definitely the jersey. I think the logo too, potentially.
All right, I can't wait to see
shout
those.
out.
So, okay, well, you have fun at Seek and Shred. We will
Can't
get
wait to hear about it.
We tried our hardest to get out there, and it just our schedules cannot align
hard
for that
time.
event. So,
all
go out
good.
there, have a blast, Bodhi. Stay safe. We'll live through Instagram to see you. Okay.
Sounds
Great
good.
seeing you, Bodhi.
Good to see you, Bodhi.
Here, y'all. Love you all very much.
Love you, man.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you, Groms.
Did you hear that? He said, "Love you, Grums," in the
That
background.
was sweet.
Okay, it is.
All the
You know what's so fun is he was our very first guest before Lily. Remember,
Yeah.
is you and me on a laptop. We didn't even know
That
what
was
we were
our
doing.
first guest?
guest.
Wow.
It was so long ago, so it's always cool to have him back on here and see the progression of the sport and the podcast and all those
was
things.
fun.
A lot of fun.
So much progression.
So much. Yeah, it's just so good when you. Yeah, I love that guy. He's a talented man, and so great on the win, but cool for the community and sport
Yeah.
to see that
Yeah.
grow.
Love
And
it.
so, if you're on the fence of Seek and Shred, go to it. I hear it's one of the best races out there in Northern California. The venue is really cool. You can, all the information you need, you can go to Facebook or I think it's seekandshred.com. You can get all the information you want as well. Is there anything else we should cover before we sign off? I think that's it for right now, everybody. It was cool to talk about this.
Street
Yeah,
style.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Can't wait for that video tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be sweet. I'm going to go right now and watch the reel on Instagram. So.
It's cool.
If you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, you should. We talk about One Wheels in the podcast, and we do reviews when that stuff hits us. We are here for the vibes, everybody. Lily, thanks for being with us today
Yeah.
and keeping the baby inside while we're here. That'd be weird.
That'd be weird.
That'd be a lot of fun, though.
So weird.
Holly,
No,
thanks for
no.
being here.
Yeah, always
Good
to
woman.
be here.
Thanks for the sunglasses.
You're welcome.
And we'll see everybody next week, okay?
Sounds good.
Bye.
Adios.